Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang terhormat, CEO Global Education Revolution, Saudari Maria Teresia beserta jajarannya. Yang terhormat, Komisi 3 FKIP Untan Bapak Mimi Haitami MPD. Yang terhormat, Gubernur Mahasiswa BEM FKIP Untan, Saudara Dede Trianto beserta seluruh jajarannya, serta seluruh peserta webinar yang saya banggakan. Perkenalkan, saya Irma Naurarifanka selaku Master of Ceremony yang akan memandu jalannya kegiatan kita pada hari ini. Pertama-tama, marilah kita panjatkan puji dan syukur kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa karena atas berkat, rahmat, dan hidayatnya, sehingga kita semua dapat berkumpul dalam virtual room ini untuk melaksanakan kegiatan Educational Growth Webinar. Kegiatan ini merupakan salah satu program kerja dari Departemen Hubungan Eksternal BEM FKIP Untan yang bekerja sama dengan Glere ID dan PT Bright Chance EdTech Indonesia. Adapun rangkaian agenda kita pada hari ini, 1. Penayangan video pengenalan Glere, 2. Pembukaan, 3. Kata sambutan dari Gubernur Mahasiswa BEM FKIP Untan, 4. Kata sambutan dari CEO Glere, 5. Sambutan sekaligus pembukaan dari Dekan FKIP Untan, 6. Doa, 7. Acara inti, 8. Penayangan video Niti Basa, 9. Penayangan video Bright Champs, 10. Dokumentasi, 11. Doa, dan 12. Penutupan. Masuk ke agenda berikutnya, kata sambutan dari Gubernur Mahasiswa BEM FKIP Untan. Kepada Saudara Dede Trianto, saya persilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang saya hormati Dekan FKIP Universitas Tanjung Pura yang diwakili oleh Bapak Mimi. Kemudian yang saya hormati CEO Global Education Revolution Maria Teresia beserta jajarannya. Kemudian yang saya hormati pemateri pada hari ini Pak Iskandar Ardiansyah selaku International Coding Educator dari Blitzcamp Indonesia. Kemudian yang saya hormati Pak Eric Stanley selaku founder Nitibasa Language Course. Baik, pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji dan syukur kita kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa. Karena pada kesempatan siang hari ini kita masih diberi kenikmatan sehingga bisa mengikuti kegiatan webinar pada hari ini. Selawat iring salam tidak lupa kita haturkan kepada junjungan kita Nabi besar Muhammad SAW. Semoga kita termasuk umatnya hingga akhir zaman kelak. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Baik, adapun kegiatan webinar pada hari ini atau EGW yang merupakan Educational Grow Webinar. Ini merupakan webinar internasional yang diadakan oleh perusahaan teknologi pendidikan yaitu PT Big Games edX Indonesia x Glere.id bersama BEM FKIP Untan. Nah, adapun tujuan dari kegiatan webinar pada hari ini ya memberikan pengetahuan kepada mahasiswa bahwasanya mencari pekerjaan di zaman sekarang ya tidak sesusah yang kita pikirkan. Ditambah lagi di zaman sekarang ya kita perlu ya untuk melek teknologi. Nah, terlebih lagi untuk pemateri kita, salah satu pemateri kita pada hari ini, yang dimana beliau adalah merupakan seorang pengajar di 5 benua, yaitu Pak Eric Stanley. Nah, jadi di webinar pada hari ini ya tidak hanya kita juga akan membahas tentang karir dan lain sebagainya. Nah, semoga ya dengan kegiatan ini dapat memberikan pencerahan kepada kita selaku mahasiswa sehingga dapat lebih aktif dan juga lebih semangatlah dalam menggapai cita-cita kita di masa depan. Nah, semoga harapannya kegiatan webinar ini dapat memberikan manfaat kepada peserta semuanya, khususnya di mahasiswa di FKIP Untan, dan harapannya sekali lagi semoga kawan-kawan bisa mengikuti kegiatan webinar ini hingga selesai ya gitu. Mungkin sekian dari saya. Saya akhiri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih atas kata sambutan yang telah diberikan. Selanjutnya, kata sambutan dari CEO Global Education Revolution atau GLERE kepada Saudari Maria Teresia, saya persilakan.
Terima kasih. Ya, selamat siang untuk semuanya. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terutama yang kami hormati Bapak Dekan, diwakili oleh Pak Mimin Haitami. Oke, terus dan Gubernur Mahasiswa FKIP Untan beserta jajarannya. Saya mengucapkan terima kasih atas kehadirannya, sudah meluangkan waktu teman-teman sekalian di webinar hari ini. Webinar Educational Growth ini merupakan wujud kolaborasi GLERE Indonesia dengan pihak BEM Untan. Webinar ini akan membahas tentang Big Data dan Teachers Career in Tech. Ya, saya berharap dengan mengikuti webinar ini secara sungguh-sungguh, teman-teman akan mendapatkan materi yang fresh, insightful, tentunya berguna. Gitu. Semua ilmu pasti berguna ya. To be specific, it's related about the big data and how this, when you're making a career in a big data as a coding educator or anything as a programmer or anything related to the technology field dapat dirintis dengan peluang yang lebih baik di bidang teknologi. Oke, jangan sungkan untuk mencatat. Silakan dicatat semua poin-poin yang kurang jelas. Kalau ada yang mau ditanyakan, we are open to that. Right? If you have any question, if you have any query, please do not hesitate to ask. Okay, I'll be very happy to explain through the chat. Okay, for whoever non-bahasa speaking here. Oke, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada rekan-rekan panitia sekali lagi yang telah mempersiapkan acara ini dengan sangat baik sekali beserta preparation-nya. Semoga ilmu yang ada di webinar ini menjadi kontribusi dari kami GLERE untuk Next Global Revolution untuk para teacher di FKIP Untan. Oke, mengingat GLERE juga memiliki berbagai program yang bisa diikuti oleh mahasiswa Untan untuk mengembangkan karir ke depannya seperti coding educator, we have also business development and other things. It's called career incubator. Oke, akhir kata saya mewakili panitia memohon maaf jika dalam perjalanannya acara ini nanti ada hal yang kurang berkenan di hati teman-teman sekalian. Semoga dengan dilaksanakannya kegiatan ini, teman-teman bisa mendapatkan peluang baru untuk berkarya sebagai teacher di bidang teknologi. Oke, so that's about it from my end. Kurang dan lebihnya, I apologize in advance and thank you.
Terima kasih atas kata sambutan yang telah diberikan. Selanjutnya, kata sambutan dari Dekan FKIP Untan sekaligus membuka kegiatan yang pada kesempatan ini diwakili oleh Bapak Mimi Haitami MPD. Kepada Bapak, saya persilakan.
Terima kasih, MC. Terdengar suara saya?
Ya, terdengar, Pak.
Baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semuanya dan tetap semangat bagi saudara-saudari yang sedang menjalankan ibadah saum hari ini. Ya. Pertama ingin saya sampaikan permohonan maaf dari Pak Dekan dan Pak Wakil Dekan tidak bisa mengikuti dan menghadiri kegiatan ini karena pada waktu dan jam yang sama Pak Dekan dan Wakil Dekan juga ada agenda acara yang semuanya penting harus diikuti. Oleh karena itu, beliau memberikan mandat kepada saya untuk menghadiri kegiatan ini dan saya memberikan apresiasi kepada para mahasiswa ya bahwa pada hari ini luar biasa. Tidak lupa salawat beserta salam saya panjatkan pada Allah Subhanahu wa taala untuk junjungan kita Nabi besar Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yang saya hormati Ketua Pelaksana ini Saudari Nadia Wardah ya. Yang saya hormati juga Gubernur Mahasiswa FKIP Untan Saudara Dedi Trianto. Yang saya hormati pemateri 1 Bapak Iskandar Ardiansyah dan pemateri kedua Bapak Eric Stanley dan juga yang saya hormati COE Global Education Revolution ya Mbak Maria Teresia. Terima kasih. Alhamdulillah hari ini saudara-saudari bisa melaksanakan kegiatan ini dengan baik tentunya fakultas menyambut baik kegiatan ini, dan kalau bisa frekuensi kegiatan-kegiatan semacam ini ditambah ya, untuk memberikan wawasan, untuk memberikan pengalaman, bahkan ilmu yang baik untuk para mahasiswa kita, dan khususnya di FHIP dan umumnya untuk masyarakat serta di Untan. Oleh karena itu, saya melihat bahwa kegiatan ini dengan materi big data ya, itu bagus disampaikan untuk calon-calon guru di di sekolah nanti gitu ya. Karena bagaimanapun mahasiswa kita di FKIP adalah pionir-pionir pelaksana daripada pengajaran. Oleh karena itu, berkenaan dengan big data ini bisa kita relevankan di dalam kependidikan kita, dalam pendidikan kita di khususnya di FKIP gitu. Ya, tentang big data ini sebetulnya belum dikenal oleh orang dengan luas ya, tapi setelah adanya isu big data dari salah satu penguasa kita, jadi ramai, dan alhamdulillah sekarang mahasiswa juga sadar dengan itu, dan memang ini adalah kebutuhan pokok bagi kita semuanya ya. Oleh karena itu, 3 karakteristik di dalam big data itu, volume, velocity, varicity, itu betul-betul dijalankan dengan baik ya. Dan tentu ini dalam dunia pendidikan penting bagi kita, bagaimana kita menambah kapasitas kita, volume kita di dalam pengetahuannya. Karena dalam pendidikan tidak terfokus kepada satu bidang ya, pendidikan. Oleh karena kita harus tetap menambah volume pengetahuan kita supaya lebih bagus ya. Yang kedua, karakteristik itu adalah velocity. Velocity-nya kecepatan kita menerima informasi dan kemudian kita menyesuaikan informasi itu untuk bisa diaplikasikan dalam kehidupan sehari-hari maupun ditransfer ya. Transfer knowledge-nya kita bisa lakukan lebih cepat juga. Dan ini adalah penting bagi seorang pendidik, bagi seorang pengusaha, bagi seorang yang giat dalam wirausaha. Nah, oleh karena itu, lakukan ini dengan baik. Dan yang ketiga adalah varicity-nya ya, keberagamannya. Dan tidak boleh kita terpaku dengan satu disiplin ilmu ya, karena itu akan membuat kita akan lebih sempit dalam bergerak, dalam berwawasan ya. Bahkan sekarang pendidikan Kementerian Kependidikan membuka wawasan ini lebih luas dengan dengan kegiatan MBKM ya. Oleh karena itu, ini salah satu bagian daripada pelaksanaan daripada MBKM ya, Kampus Merdeka itu, bagaimana kita bisa merambah ke seluruh disiplin ilmu yang tentunya memberikan bekal buat kita semuanya. Dan saya memberikan apresiasi yang luar biasa kepada BEM ya, mudah-mudahan ini bisa terus dilakukan kerjasamanya dan bisa terus melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang bermanfaat bagi mahasiswa khususnya ya. Oleh karena itu, dengan mengucap Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, kegiatan webinar Educational Growth dengan topik Big Data for Education and Teachers Career in Teach secara resmi saya nyatakan dibuka. Dan saya ucapkan selamat menjalankan kegiatan ini. Mudah-mudahan saudara-saudari diberikan kesuksesan dalam kegiatan ini dan dalam karirnya. Terima kasih. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak atas kata sambutan yang telah diberikan sekaligus membuka kegiatan kita pada hari ini. Baiklah, untuk membuka kegiatan kita, marilah kita mulai dengan doa yang akan dipimpin oleh Praditya. Pada Praditya, saya persilakan.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
untuk
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
siang serta salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Untuk memulai acara ini, ada baiknya kita mulai dengan berdoa. Marilah kita berdoa menurut agama dan kebutuhan kita masing-masing. Bagi yang beragama Islam, izinkanlah saya untuk memimpinnya. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin. حمدا ناعم حمدا يعافي ويكافئ مزيدا يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وسلطانك اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا Muhammad. Ya Allah, ya Rahman, ya Rahim. Ya Allah yang Maha Pengasih dan Penyayang. Pada hari ini kami berkumpul di room Zoom meeting ini. Kami hendak berkumpul dan melaksanakan acara Educational Growth Webinar. Ya Allah, dengan memohon ridho dan izin-Mu, berkahilah semua langkah dan perbuatan kami, dan jadikanlah acara ini semua sebagai nilai ibadah dan nilai ilmu yang bermanfaat kepada kami dan pada banyak orang. Ya Allah, Al-Wahhab, ya Allah yang Maha Pemberi karunia, berikanlah kami karunia, bukalah pikiran kami, lenturkanlah lisan kami, dan berikanlah kepada kami ide-ide yang cemerlang untuk membangun bangsa ini, dan dengan bimbingan dari Domo, maka bimbinglah kami Allah. Ya Allah, ya Al-Batin, ya Allah yang Maha Mengetahui yang gaib, bimbinglah kami dengan hidayah-Mu, berkahilah kami selalu dengan takdir-Mu, dan jadikanlah hati kami selalu ridho dengan pemberian-Mu. Ya Allah, ya Ghafur, lapangkanlah dada kami, lancarkanlah lisan kami, serta mudahkanlah urusan kami. Engkau yang Maha Pengampun atas segala dosa, ampunilah dosa kami, dosa orang tua kami, dosa para pemimpin kami, dosa para pejuang kami, dan dosa para pendahulu kami. Tempatkanlah kami dan mereka semua dalam lindungan dan rahmat dan ampunan-Mu. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqa warzuqna tinabah, wa arinal batila warzuqna tinabah. Ya Allah, tunjukkanlah kepada kami bahwa yang benar adalah benar, dan berikanlah kepada kami kekuatan dan kemampuan untuk menjalankannya. Serta tunjukkan kepada kami bahwa yang salah adalah salah, dan berikan kami kekuatan dan kemampuan untuk meninggalkannya. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah, wa fil akhirati hasanah, wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih kepada Praditya yang telah memimpin doa. Selanjutnya, kita akan memasuki sesi acara inti yang akan dipimpin oleh moderator. Sebelumnya, perkenankan saya untuk memperkenalkan moderator kita pada hari ini. Baiklah, untuk moderator kita pada hari ini adalah Saudari Nadia Wardah Mumtazah. Kepada Saudari Nadia, mungkin bisa langsung saya persilakan.
Mbak MC, saya pamit duluan ya. Kebetulan juga ada kegiatan setelah ini. Terima kasih, selamat dan sukses buat saudara-saudari dalam kegiatan ini. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi
Terima kasih
wabarakatuh.
Pak atas kehadirannya.
Sama.
Baiklah, langsung saja selanjutnya saya serahkan sesi acara inti kepada moderator, kepada Saudari Nadia Wardah Mumtazah, saya persilakan.
Oke, terima kasih ya MC atas kesempatannya. Mungkin dari operator ada yang mau nayangin video dulu ya? Oke, tes suara saya kedengaran jelas enggak ya, teman-teman?
Terdengar jelas, Kak.
Sudah jelas, Kak.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon all. Sebelumnya perkenalkan ya, saya Nadia Wardah Mumtaza, the moderator of today's webinar. I'm very happy to see you here and welcome all of you to this webinar. Today's webinar is about big data for education and teachers career intake. Mungkin teman-teman juga udah baca di pamfletnya sebelum mendaftar ini. Okay guys, before we start the presentation session, let me tell you how the presentation will go. We have two speakers with two material sessions. First, I will introduce our first speaker. After that, the speaker will be invited to present the material for about 30 minutes, and continue with the Q&A session. After that, continued with the second material session with the same flow. Okay, mungkin pembicaranya juga udah bergabung ya. Let me introduce our first speaker. His name is Muhammad Iskandar Ardiansyah Rohman. He is the Bright Camps Indonesian coding educator, obtained a Bachelor of Informatics Technique at Brawijaya University, and took a master degree of Computer Science and Information Engineering at the National Chung Cheng University, Taiwan. He is an amazing people with many certified academic honor and awards that I can mention one by one. Now, to shorten the time, allow me to welcome the speaker, Muhammad Iskandar Ardiansyah Rohman, to make his presentation. Mas Iskandar, udah ready?
Oh, ya. Sudah, Mbak.
Oke. Oke, kepada Mas Iskandar, saya persilakan untuk menyampaikan materinya tentang Big Data for Education. Ya, waktu dan tempat saya persilakan.
Oke, semuanya. Mungkin karena saya akan menyampaikan dengan full English, saya akan coba share materinya versi Indonesia di kolom chat komentar ya. Oke, sebentar. Oke, sudah saya share. Saya coba share screen aja. Bisa langsung di-download. Kemudian saya akan menyampaikannya versi bahasa Inggris. Okay, thank you everyone for joining the webinar session today. My name is Muhammad Iskandar Ardiansyah Rohman. Today I'm gonna share you about big data technology and its application to the giant company technology in industrial revolution era 4.0. Talking about giant company, we can say it's something like Google, Microsoft, and so on, the big giant on technology. Okay, so what is Industrial Revolution 4.0? Before we go through to Industrial Revolution 4.0, let's go to the history of Industrial Revolution 1.0. In Industrial Revolution 1.0, the working is using muscle. So here the production is very expensive because we need to working using muscle, and the muscle of people can exhausted, so the product fee is really expensive, and we cannot use the so we cannot expect we have a chip, so no all people can buy that stuff. And also in Industrial Revolution 1.0, using natural energy like water and the wind. And also in the Industrial Revolution 1.0, the working using a parallel system. So in a parallel system, so every worker need to do and know everything from the beginning until the end. So maybe in that session have a preparation session, process session, and finishing session. So the worker need to know from the beginning until the end. And this is hard to recruit a new worker because Okay, can we get the material? Do you mean the English material? I will share it after the material is done. Okay, so this is a very hard tool for people to recruit a new member of worker because we need to because we need to make sure the worker know the process from the beginning until the end. And if there is a people who get sick, of course, the production gets slower and slower. Therefore, in Industrial Revolution 2.0, the parallel system working is converted to series system working. So any people of worker just need to know only the part that they are specialized. So this is make very easy in the training because he just need to know we just need to train the worker at that area at that specialization, and therefore because every worker have their specialization, it make the development and innovation at that specialization area is increased, so it can increase the production because the innovation going faster. And also the new recruit new member is very easy because we just need to train at that part. No need to know from the beginning until the end. At that time, the production increased dramatically, and of course, because it's increased and because it's not really hard to get the people, so the fee, the sales is increased because it got cheaper, so everybody can access it. And maybe it's a car, so everybody can buy a car cheaper. Okay, and if we go to the Industrial Revolution 3.0, at that time, the automation technology is applied. The machine is applied assist to the human. So like the human can get exhausted and cannot work into 24 hours. Now with a machine, the working, it can be 24 hours and the machine cannot be exhausted. Maybe only need several times to maintain. So here the production is increased more and more. So here the people only working in the part which machine cannot do. So of course it can make the production increase and the sales price is go lower, and then everybody can reach, maybe if the product is car, everybody can reach that car at the lower price. And then we just go to the revolution industrial 4.0. It's a using a big data. We will tell it in detail later, and using a cloud computing storage usage. Cloud computing storage usage is like a storage in a cloud. So if we know about a Google Drive, Toolbox, and so on, a storage which is online, from initially, everybody need to go to the same room, need to meet each other to do a teamwork because they cannot teamwork without meeting any other initially. But because a cloud computing storage usage like a GitHub, so everybody just do the teamwork remotely. So they can do at the GitHub, something like GitHub, and then the computer will update what is we do and inform another team, and another team can directly continue the project. So it make the teamwork easily because we didn't need to meet anymore. Okay, so just go through to the big data. What is big data actually? Here is the data from 2021. Google conduct 5-6 million search, and Snapchat 2 million, and then Venmo, Slack, Zoom, Teams, and so on. And then this is conduct only in 1 minute or 60 seconds. So could you imagine if we conduct how many data we have if this one is conduct maybe a day, a week, a month, or maybe a year. Okay, so that will be a very huge data that we can call it a big data. Okay. So why we study big data? Because the world of technology produce a very large quantity of technology, like we said before. Google and so on produce so many data. And the data generated by the technology era is greatly from various sectors. So information technology conduct data, manufacturing, retail, communication, logistics, and so on. Every one is conduct a data. Analytical opportunity that can be exploited to create intelligent systems. So imagine like we have a billion of data. What we can do with that data? We can learn it. We can have analytical opportunity by the computer to make something which can be useful for the company. Okay. The smarter system is, the more automated process it will be. So because the computer learns so many big data, it know the correlation is data, and it will be smarter and can answer every question that we ask to the computer. So big data overview. In the first one, we have the data itself. The data itself is still around and have no connection of each data. So like we have a red or maybe a number 31. Yeah, it's just a data. We cannot do anything with that data. But information is have a correlation each other. Like the color is red. It's different with the color is blue. And then the age of these people is 21, the age of these people is 50. That's called information. But it's not enough for making the computer a smart system. And the knowledge is, I'm reading a motorcycle and there is a red light ahead. Here is a computer can know because he already learned data, but it's not big data, still lack of data. So he not really sure what answer that and decision he need to decide. And intelligent is the top of the big data overview. It is using big data because the computer learn about data, which is a very much data, and it can think like a human and can answer every question like a human, but better than human. Okay, and then let's go through to the data. What is data? Data is defined as a symbol that shows the property of an object. Data itself is still a row. Data has no meaning for other data, like it's only red and a number 31, it's just a data. And data has various forms, such as data stored in spreadsheet and database. And about the information can be defined as a description that is represented by the data. Information also description that answer questions such as what is the color? This color is green. What is the age? My age is 25. Like that. It can answer several questions. And information data that is given meaning by the connection between data. Example like age, color, and address. It is information. And then knowledge. Knowledge can be defined as a reflected representation of information. Computers try to learn using data and information and produce knowledge. However, this knowledge is not very accurate due to lack of resource of information and data. At early stage, the computer is able to determine the solution, but sometimes it's not accurate enough. An example of knowledge is that computer is given information about the habit of the people of Jakarta in the New Year. But if we ask the question about people in the what people in New York do in New Year, the computer cannot decide and cannot give the question because due to the lack of resource of data. Okay, and then the wisdom. This wisdom is high-level knowledge of wisdom can be built because of big data. Computers are getting smarter and more reliable in answering various problems because they are trained with a very diverse data. At this stage, the computer is able to replace the human brain because the computer can learn every time, without exhausted of a million new data, which is produced every day, but the human cannot. Example of wisdom include computers are able to answer questions about the habit of people in any country during the new year because due to have the complete data of a big data because the computer already learn about every people what every people do in the world every people in the world do in a new year, so the computer can answer what people do in this region what people do in another region. Okay, and then what are the terms to be called big data? To be a big data, we need a value, variety, velocity, veracity, and volume. Yeah. And the first one is a volume. In 2021, Google conducts 6 million every minute, TikTok to around 200 million video every minute. So that will be a very huge data if we count it as a year or a 10-year, that will very huge data that we can analytical opportunity. Yeah. And then the traditional approach that we always do, like we have maybe 100 file of clothes, maybe we can traditional approach will be we just only can check 5 type of clothes randomly and conclude that this cloth is conclude of all if this cloth is good or not. But in big data approach, the computer will learn every single data and he can tell that this one cloth is good and this one another one is not good. And if we have a new cloth and we ask to the computer know which this is a good or not because he already learned about a billion data before about a cloth. And then the velocity. Yeah, in 2021, we have a 5G architecture network. Before that, we have a 3G, 4G, and in the next upcoming year, it could be 6G, 7G, and so on. So many fast data, it can increase the bandwidth and it can increase produce the big data. And also in traditional approach, if we have it's like we do a scientific paper, we do a hypothesis and then asking us question, and then we learn about the data and we can answer the problem. But in a big data approach, we go directly into the data and then explore the data one by one, and then we will see the correlation each data, and we have an insight. That insight might make the computer can answer every question that we ask to them. Like before, we have the computer have already learned about so many clothes, so he have insight about the clothes and can answer which cloth is good and which is not good. And that's it's only a clothes. But imagine any other area that we can approach with big data. And then variety, a collection of various kind of data, both structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Data coming from different platform has different format. And this is the challenge of the big data because the data is many is as unstructured and is not in the same format. So to make computer learn very easily and accurately, we need to make it uniform so the computer not confused about the different format of the data and make a noise and make the accuracy getting lower. If we can make it uniform, we can make the computer learn easily, and the insight will be better than we have no we have unstructured data. And then veracity, hoax data, inaccurate data, noise data can interfere the machine learning process with the big data, because if the big data learn about the hoax data as a benchmark, it will make the insight is error too. Like if he learn about the data is not true, then the computer will answer the question with not true, with the false answer too. So we need to make sure that what learn in the with the computer is a correct data, is not a hoax data or inaccurate data. And the value. Okay, big data require enormous resource, a very huge resource, because the storage cost will be even greater, because yeah, every single minute only Google is 6 million search. So it's a very huge data. And how about a year? How can we save that data in a year of, if that a single minute is 6 million? So it will be very huge data. So it will be a waste if the data is not used. But if we have a good analysis with that data, it can be used for the service that benefit company more. Okay. So giant company using a big data technology, like we have Google. Google use a big data technology in its advertising service. User search data is used as data for learning, so that the computer is able to recognize which advertisements are suitable to be displayed for each user. So because the Google is a platform who connect the company of advertisement to the user, so every time we searching, like every time we searching in the YouTube, every time we searching in the Google will learn our data. The Google will learn our habit, what we actually like. So the Google will show the ads which is suitable with our like. So it will learn about our habit, and it can make the advertisement is better approach to the right people. And also Google also use a big data technology in Google Map service. Google is able to determine which spot is developed, which has access, because it learn from user data which way more often does. So like if we have already using a Google Map, if we looking some place, and then the Google Maps will give a suggestion this way, and this way. The Google Maps are very seldom to give a suggestion of deadlock, because there is no one go there. So the Google learned that this way is not really good, and there is something wrong in this way. So I will not suggest another one to go this way. And then Instagram. Instagram uses a big data technology on its Explore service. When exploring on Instagram, the content that is displayed is the content that we often look for. This is exactly the same as other social media such as TikTok and LinkedIn. So like Instagram, like if we go for explore, we looking for a car, we always looking for a car. The Instagram learn our habit. Based on our data, he learned our habit. Oh, these people is a very like about a car, so I will show them the content about a car. And Instagram also use a big data technology in its advertising service, same like Google. Okay, and then various digital marketplace company like Bukalapak, Tokopedia, Shopee, and Alibaba. Digital marketplace use a big data technology in their product search. So project with good rating and the most purchase will appear first. Okay. And then marketplace also analyze data such as age and gender for attractive deal that advertise. So because we input age, gender. So he learned about what age of the user and then show the advertisement to the user like this user should be give this promotion and another user should be give another promotion. Okay, and then big data analysis job opportunity. The first one is a data scientist. Data scientist must be able to inform the development recommendation and action plan that we be implemented to improve the company system. Not only that, this profession will also require you to analyze data and present it to the business division to help make the right business decision. So the data scientists need to learn about the data that company have and then give the company suggestion which need to be do. Like if we have a data about the sales is decrease, so we need to add ads, and then if the data the most sales is on the people, not on the young people, so we need to add the sales on the young people. Like that is what is data scientists do. And then data analyst. A data analyst must have extensive knowledge, expert in operating computers such as Excel, SharePoint, and SQL. In addition, this profession also demands good communication and presentation skill. Being a data analyst means that you must be able to translate any complex information and data in an effective and easy understand way. Yeah, so the data analyst should know about the data and could easily make the data is represent very easy by another people. So if we have so many big data and then we need to represent it in a very easy way to the company. That's what a data analyst do. And then big data analyst and then data engineer. Data engineer is a mediator between a business division and the data scientist. This profession works by ensuring that data scientists understand what the company main objectives are so that they can search for appropriate and objective data. In addition, data engineer also need to have engineering team to process data in accordance with a business objective. So data engineer should know the vision of the company, should know about learn about the business management, and also need to know about data engine data scientists, I mean. So they can translate what the company want to the data scientists, and then they can also translate what the data scientists do already in the company. It's as a mediator from the company to the data scientist. And then the last one is a database manager. If you are interested to become a database manager, then you need to master project management skill to be able to work multitasking. Being in this profession will allow you to run diagnostic database repair. In fact, if there is a request for a data usage, database manager is in charge of review it and also evaluate the source of the data to be provided. Because yeah, we are in a big data and big data is stored in a database. So what the database manager need to do is ensure that the data is not have an error and it can be flow easily. Like if we want to store the data, it have no error. And then if we want to take the data and then update the data, edit the data, we need to ensure that the data is have no problem. That what we need a database manager, because the everything using a database, because everything in a big data is stored in database manager. Okay. Okay, maybe that's all what I have can explain. Is there any question that's asking for me? Ada pertanyaan yang ingin ditanyakan terkait dengan big data?
Oke.
Oh, okay. Can I ask questions?
Oke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Silakan.
Oh, okay. So I need to raise my hand. Right. Fine. I'll just start asking questions first. Okay. Iskandar will help. Will answer this, and I will help if needed. But I would like to ask Iskandar first for the big data. Usually, I used to work in market research back then. I was a project manager for a marketing research company. I deal a lot with data every single day. I usually deal with unclean data, or what we know as interim data or raw data. So my question to you is Kanda. So all I know, the platform that we use in order to look for that raw data, we use SPSS a lot. Okay, so I wanted to know more about R analysis. Can you explain? Do you have any idea about the R analysis?
Data analysis. Data. Okay. Yeah, data analysis maybe it's not very clear about the IT, but everyone can do it. But this one is someone who can translate the data and explain it in a very easy way. It's also one of part of the data big data approach, but not really because we don't use a big data approach at this. But what big data approach, the real big data approach is dealing with so many data, like a billion data, and we make the computer learn about it. But data analyst maybe is one of opportunity of the big data, but we're not making the computer learn it. But yeah, because there is not just several opportunity in Indonesia, but in the future, because the data will be much bigger, and much bigger, because the connection architecture will be greater, the velocity will be faster, and the much data will be produced. There will be a lot of opportunity more in future. But for data analysis, I really need to admit that that is not about a big data, but it's a opportunity that we have for until today. So what data analysts do is represent the data, maybe not really big data, but it can know about the data and translate it easily to the company.
Okay, so it has something to do with artificial intelligence, am I right?
Yeah, something to do with artificial intelligence. It's the real big data approach. Like we make the computer learn about a very huge data, and it can answer everything we want because the data is available now for online. We always do everything in online, so we have everyone data, so we can answer every question that we need to ask to the computer, because the computer also can learn very much data, so many data every day, without stop, and people cannot do that. So in the future, computer will across the skill of human in answering the question, in analyze the data, and it can make easily for the company, like we have already do Google using a very good in his advertisement. So it disconnect the advertisement to the people who really need that advertisement, using the data that the user always do, like what he search, and then what he looking in the YouTube, and what he do every time in online. It's connect us on their daily activity and show us the X according what we often do. Okay, and also like if we have a car with artificial intelligence, I forget the name. Yeah, a car with like the car can know driving itself. Yeah, it's learn about the big data too. It learn about everyday traffic, So this traffic is design means this way, this one, and design means this one. So it can know if this sign is ahead, that what we need to do, and the car will do whatever need to do. If there is a red light, he need to stop, and if there is it can detect also the another car in the front of him, and he learn. Of course, he learn also about the so many data of car. So he know this is a car, this is a people, this is a tree, and then he conclude that this is a car. So I need to stay a distance for him. And if this not car, if it's a tree, so I need to break. I need to break because he already learned about this is the picture of the tree here, here, so many tree. So the computer know, oh, this is the tree. So I need to break out. And then this is a car. So I need to keep distance. And this is the traffic light. And then this is a red light. We need to stop. That's one of example what we can do with a big data approach. But we have so many lot of opportunity because we have so many data and a very big data. We can make the computer to be smart and answer every question and to be a decision maker, and the computer can learn better than human because the human cannot learn million data every day, but computer can do it. So there is so many opportunity in big data, and of course because the architecture will be faster, the data will be bigger and bigger, it could be a very good to learn big data.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Always big data analysis of increasing business revenue, one of those central modules.
Excuse
Okay.
me, Director. I already
Okay.
raising my hand.
Okay, you can ask me your question.
May I?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, Sir Iskandar. Let me
Yes.
introduce myself. I think my name is Eskiran Aldi. I'm from Biology Education, from 6th semester. Your explanation about big data is really interesting. I really think that big data is the future education for Indonesia. One of my question is actually giving a clear example. Can you give us a clear example about how big data can make teachers' job easier? For example, I think I have been internship for some school, and in one of the school using Excel to giving students report. But do you think using that Excel is actually is using the big data or not? That's one of my questions. And the second one I want to ask you about collecting. I usually collecting my journal in my Google Drive. And do you think that is that big data big data manifestation or not? Something like that. I'm sorry if my questions kind of rude. I think that's all for my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking the question. So what we make in an Excel actually is not a big data because big data approach, it means we give the computer time to learning, we give time the computer learning about the data, and then we make the computer can answer and make a decision about the data. If we do something in Excel, it's not really big data because it's actually do manually by us. But if the what big data it is we always train the computer, and because there is a new data every day, every minute, we always train the computer with the new data, and the computer will decide what with what we need to do, like if in the teacher field, if you want to make a big data, we can make like a score, like the student score is based on this one, this one, this one, this one. We can make the computer learn, oh, the good student is the score should be minimal, this one, this behavior is this one, and then this, and so on, so many parameters. And then we make the computer learn about the data that we have already, and then we will input the new data in computer. Oh, we have a new student here, and then his score is this one, and his parameter, another parameter is this one, another parameter is this one. The computer will decide this student is good or not. That's one of example that we use big data, and that's the simple one too. If you want to talk in the very complex thing, is what I said before in like the car. Yeah, like car is learning about the tree. This is the picture of tree, so I need to brake, and then this one is picture of car, so I need to keep distance, and then this picture of red light, I need to stop. And he continued driving, he tried to control the speed of his car automatically based on what we learn in the way, in the road. That's the complex example. But the easy example is like I do, like I said before about the teacher. We can make the computer learn about the data of the student, and computer can know and decide this student is good or not based on the parameter that computer already learned. Okay, is that answering your question?
Okay, that's really answering my questions. But do you have any suggestions how school can make their own big data system? For example, for students report tujuan memberikan raport ke siswa seperti itu. Seperti saran apa yang Mas Iskandar berikan untuk sekolah-sekolah yang memang perlu untuk membuat big data sistem mereka sendiri seperti itu.
Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing. If the school want to add something like that, we need to make school learn about coding, because everything we can do by coding. If we have a machine learning course, that we can make the system which can have a decision based on the data. It's everything in coding. We have need to learn about the like algorithm which can make the computer learn. There is an algorithm. We can like CNN, and then machine learning, and then decision tree, and so many algorithm that we can make. We need to do to make school understand is school need to learn about coding, and he need to think that the coding is a very important, so they can, if they already know about the coding, so they can apply the system, the coding course in the system of the school, and make the school can apply the big data. So when the important thing is learn coding.
Okay, thank you, Mas Iskandar.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Mbak Sherly Marcelina, what
Yeah.
is the question?
So I want to ask you about, okay, so we know in our phone we have many applications, right? So for example, in Instagram. And my question is that what about data taken directly from our phones through applications? So that example is Instagram. It will request access to location, right? Albums and contacts. Right. So yeah, I want to ask you about the management of that data. Is that a big data or not?
Okay, that's big data because the computer try to know where we are, where is our location. So like Instagram, he try to connect with our location, and then he can show the content which in our location too. So like we always have we are in Indonesia, is a little bit opportunity to see another content in another country, because of course the computer learned that maybe it's not very suitable for the people in Indonesia to see the another content in outside country. But also that's only one parameter. There is another parameter too, like what we always search in Instagram. So if we always looking for the content from the outside abroad, of course the parameter of that content will be higher rather than only the location. So the location is only one parameter that computer learn. So we need to show the content of the in this region. Like I say in the example of the teacher, in decide this student is good or not is based on the score, his behavior, and then another parameter, and so on. That's only one parameter about location. There is so many parameter, and I don't know what is the parameter. Of course, the company know, but it's so many parameter. So, but the every parameter will decide which we need to get the content. So it's overall parameter. Is that clear enough?
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
thank you. So the next question, sir, one more. Yeah, about the management. So sometimes I feel uncomfortable to accept the data access for that, but yeah, I need to do it right now. So how about the management? Is the management the same as described on your material? I mean, like a big data. Yeah, when they ask it about age, name, when we want to go to sign in or sign up, it's same.
Yeah, of course. It's well, like if we try to register in any platform, they asking about age and then location, address, and so on. He will learn our data, and he will show everything it is based on our data. So like the computer already learned that maybe if that marketplace already learned, so this is people from Indonesia and he is young and he is male, and then he already learned what the people who are male and then Indonesian people and then young is like. So the computer will show the deal, so the promotion based on what average people do like us, like he is young, he is male, is like what. So that's the example of big data technology. So everything what we think we fulfill the any information is related in a big data. It's a purpose for the system to make the company better and know the customer more and can give what the consumer want.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay. So any other question? Okay. Mas Rizky, want to ask more question?
Okay, thank you. About pertanyaan yang mungkin diajukan sama Kak Shirley tadi, bukankah itu apa ya, Mas? Berarti bahwa data sistem ini juga mengancam keamanan data pribadi. Saya merasa bahwa seringkali terdengar isu-isu untuk suatu situs yang meminta konfirmasi suatu identitas itu, kita nggak tahu data itu mereka simpan di database yang mana. Lalu ada ya mungkin ini juga kabar burung yang nggak tahu sih ini menyebabkan paranoid atau gimana. Tapi ada juga yang menyebutkan bahwa data sistem itu tuh bisa saja nanti dijual untuk ya dijual di ya, dark site gitu, dark website yang menyebabkan banyak orang yang takut juga gitu dengan isu keamanan data. Nah, seperti itu, Mas. Bagaimana kita menghadapi sikap-sikap penolakan terhadap big data sistem itu sendiri gitu, Mas, menurut saya. Terima kasih.
Untuk penolakannya kayaknya nggak bisa ya Mas, karena kita mau menolak kayak gimana aja, kita pasti mengikutin yang memiliki teknologi, sedangkan yang memiliki teknologi adalah perusahaan raksasa yang ada sekarang, yaitu Google, Microsoft, dan lain-lain. Dan yang perlu ditanyakan juga, apakah memang kalau kita ingin menolak, terus apakah kita juga mau tidak menggunakan sistem tersebut? Sedangkan sistem tersebut juga mungkin sangat penting untuk kebutuhan kita bekerja, kebutuhan kita berkomunikasi sama orang-orang. Jadi masalah itu ya memang mungkin ada, tapi kembali lagi kalau kita menutup diri sama teknologi, kita yang bakal ketinggalan, kita yang nggak bisa, yang bukannya malah mengambil peluang, malah menjadi takut sendiri dan menjadi partner sendiri dan nggak dapat apa-apa, seperti itu. Jadi kalau mungkin ada isu-isu begitu, ya sudah diambil positifnya aja, nggak usah terlalu dimasalahkan. Namanya juga sekarang eranya data, ya kan nggak cuman kita aja yang diambil datanya gitu. Tapi memang data itu sangat sangat bernilai ya, sangat bernilai. Orang juga berani beli data karena kayak misal bisa menganalisis apa menurut apa yang dia tawarkan ke customer gitu kan. Jadi dia bisa lebih mengiklankan secara lebih efektif, terus juga memberikan penawaran yang lebih pas kepada customer daripada dia menawarkan secara acak tanpa belajar dulu, tanpa komputer mempelajari itu dulu kan. Sedangkan kalau kita belajar sendiri juga manusia keterbatasan. Manusia keterbatasan nggak mungkin belajar jutaan data. Makanya di sini kita mengandalkan komputer untuk belajar sama data. Kemudian dia bisa membantu pekerjaan manusia dalam menganalisis dan memberi yang terbaik untuk customer. Seperti itu. Oke. Maybe is there any other question?
Thank you for the answer, Mas Iskandar.
Okay, you're welcome. Oke. Mungkin kalau nggak ada yang ditanyakan, saya tutup. Terima kasih sudah menghadiri sesi Big Data. Kemudian saya serahkan langsung ke Mbak Moderator.
Oke, thank you ya Mas Iskandar atas
Oke.
materinya yang sangat luar biasa. Thank you juga buat partisipan yang udah sangat-sangat antusias dalam mengikuti the first session tentang Big Data for Education. Oke, karena semua pertanyaan juga sudah terjawab dan mungkin tidak ada yang bertanya lagi, kita langsung masuk ke sesi kedua. Let me introduce our second speaker. His name is Eric Stanley. Mas Eric, halo, sudah join?
Hello, good day. How are you guys? Are you good?
Okay. Sudah disapa Mas Eric ya. He is a teacher in 5 continents. Saya juga sudah disinggung di awal. Lalu mendapatkan gelar sarjana di Universitas Airlangga Communication Science dan master degree at University of Ege di Turkey. He has a lot of achievements by his experience, his skills, and his educations that I can mention one by one karena memang terlalu banyak. Oke, untuk mempersingkat waktu, saya persilahkan Mas Erik menyampaikan materinya ya kepada Mas Erik. Saya persilahkan. Oh ya, sebelumnya kita ada penayangan video dulu sebelum masuk ke materinya Mas Erik. Oke, silakan.
Kata orang, pendidikan kita punya 1000 masalah, dan salah satunya mungkin adalah kita. Ya, kemampuan belajar siswa Indonesia dibilang rendah. Untuk ngetes benar atau enggak, coba aja jawab pertanyaan ini. Kalian punya waktu sampai video ini berakhir untuk menjawabnya. Gimana? Susah? Kalau emang ngerasa kesulitan, bisa jadi survei yang satu ini tuh benar. Ya, survei 3 tahunan buat pelajar SMP ini nunjukin emang kemampuan pelajar Indonesia bisa dibilang bermasalah. Tapi emang gimana hasilnya? Gimana perbandingannya sama negara-negara dunia lainnya dan ada di posisi berapa kita sekarang? Jawabannya kita ada di peringkat ke-7 dunia, tapi dari bawah. Ya, survei yang dibuat untuk mengukur kemampuan anak SMP dalam 3 bidang ini ternyata masih terlalu sulit. Nyatanya kita ada di peringkat ke-71 secara keseluruhan, kalah dari negara-negara yang emang terkenal maju pendidikannya dan bahkan kalah sama negara-negara yang umurnya belum sepertiga Indonesia. Sedihnya lagi, tren pelajar-pelajar kita belakangan ini pun turun terus-menerus. Tapi tunggu dulu, apakah tes PISA ini emang bisa ngegambarin realita pendidikan kita yang sebenarnya? Terus apa sih yang bisa kita lakuin ke depannya? Pastinya tes ini bukanlah hasil akhir yang nentuin kualitas pendidikan. Tapi kalau berkaca dari hasil tadi bisa jadi itu karena banyak masalah yang menerpa pendidikan kita. Yang salah satunya karena masih adanya kebiasaan ngehafal yang bikin kita nggak ngerti kenapa suatu materi dipelajarin. Misalnya, coba kita balik ke teka-teki tadi. Disadarin atau enggak, sekolah ngajarin kita rumusnya dan lupa ngejelasin kalau masalah kayak gini sering banget kita hadapin di kehidupan sehari-hari. Tapi masalahnya, nggak cuma ada di sekolah aja, tapi juga di luar kelas. Misalnya kayak kondisi sosial ekonomi pelajar yang nggak merata yang akhirnya bikin hasil tes mereka jomplang dan tentu aja masalah-masalah lainnya. Makanya biar pendidikan kita bisa bersaing, kita perlu berkaca dari hasil survei ini dan ngambil kebijakan. Contohnya kayak UN yang baru-baru ini diilangin, yang perlu kita lakuin buat perbaikin pendidikan Indonesia. Bapak pendiri bangsa kita pernah bilang satu ucapan yang terkenal. Katanya, hanya satu tanah yang bisa disebut tanah airku. Ia berkembang dengan usaha dan usaha itu adalah usahaku. Ngelihat kondisi sekarang, ucapan itu bisa jadi dorongan buat kita semua yang meski di tengah fakta menyedihkan kualitas pendidikan di negara kita, kitalah yang harus ikut berjuang menyelesaikannya. Dan seperti biasa, terima kasih.
Seperti nasib awak lagi muncul. Kenal anake sing tetul rujak Rek, ayo rek, mlaku-mlaku nang aku juga. Rek, ayo rek, kami berperan. Everybody, let me teach you some lyrics and lead. I'm from East Java, Surabaya Hero City. Assalamualaikum. How are you today? Get piano? Halo Mbak Mas, masih sehat kan? So, do you hear me now? Do you get my voice now?
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
awesome. Thank you. So, how are you today, guys? Are you good? Are you fine?
Good.
Hola, Rubén Señor, ¿todo bien? ¿Qué está haciendo? Sí, yo hablo español un poco. Okay, so tadi kita before we have talked about the database stuff, and now today we talk about what we can do with our career in a high tech stuff. And before actually, yes, actually I'm speechless now because I just like yeah I cannot I don't know, I'm speechless now, but okay. Let's try to do it now. And now with Mbak Putu, can you please help me to share screen? Yes. But before, can you please go up a little bit, Mbak? Yes. So what I want to do now, I want to say, so what's your big stream? So what do you think about international worker? Can you please help me to answer, guys? So what you know about international worker, international company? What do you know about that? Can you please help me to answer? Maybe, yeah, Mbak Nadia, Mbak Maria, Mas Rizky, or Ruben Senior, Mr. Kire.
I want to answer that. Not as an educational, but I work abroad long back for so many years. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about becoming international worker, Mbak? So do you feel, I mean, what you can share with us? I mean, like, what you feel, what makes different between local and international worker? What you get from that?
Well, the culture are very different because
Awesome.
because when you are having this title of international worker, that means you have to be ready to have a mindset of
Yeah.
one step, not even one step, 5 steps ahead from when you are only based in here locally. That's what. So
Cool.
your mind should be open.
Yeah.
Like it is very important because if you have a closed mind that what you have in Indonesia, in Indonesia it's not like that.
Okay.
My parents didn't teach me that and all that.
Okay.
You might not be able to survive when you are working abroad for sure.
Cool.
Because people from many countries, they have a lot of things, in which maybe not as per our standard here in Indonesia. So we have to be so open-minded. That's the key.
So if we have closed mind, they will close our life, right, Mbak? That's true? Okay. So
Yeah.
next, thank you, Mbak, for your presentation. It's awesome. Next, Mbak Putu, can you please go to the next step? So I'm going to give you, so this passport, okay? This is our passport, how we can go abroad. And of course, in the high-tech stuff, thanks God, I don't know how to say, but I feel like this pandemic gave me a lot of benefits. Because of pandemic, I can teach 16 hours in a day. I don't have to move to another continent. So that's why, so if you think that pandemic always produce something bad for me, not really, because sometimes like without pandemic, maybe we don't have the session. We have to fly from Surabaya to your place, or maybe Maria from West Java to your place. But with pandemic, we can do online now. But of course, with the pandemic, with high tech stuff, we have to prepare what we have to do. Now we have, of course, we have to know ourselves, know our networking, and then know our guide. Can you please next a little bit, Mbak Putu? Yeah. Know yourself, know your character, know your education, certification, cultural literacy that before Mbak Maria has explained before, future mission, vision and mission. Character here about like, we can say like short SWOT, like strength, weakness, and then opportunity and threatness. So for example, I like teaching, I like playing game, I like playing like we can say Android application. So those strengths you can produce a new chance for your life. And of course, you have to know. For example, I'm a moody, I'm a speaker, I'm a talk active person. So you have to know about yourself first before you go abroad. And of course, to be honest, education is important but not important. We can say before in Latin Europe and Latin America, if you have skill, you can work. But in Indonesia, they have different. They love about certification. If you don't have it, you're gonna die. So that's why I always try to like mention myself before that I mean, yeah, since I was like university stage, I was trying to find kind of like presentation. I mean, like the certificate is so important. So that's why, yeah, because sometimes something about abroad, it's more cool. You can say like it's cooler than what we have now. So that's why sometimes education and certification abroad can help you and upgrade yourself. And not only about your career, but also about your image. And cultural literacy, this is so big problem. This is about one of like the best problem of my experience when I was having international classes about culture. Sometimes we can say here, sometime before when I was in Turkey. Okay, thank you much for your time. I hope you're good. I hope you find everything. God bless you. For example, before when I was in Turkey, they can say like no, like like that. But when you were in Indonesia, you will say like kurang ajar kamu ya. Just about the culture, Mas. Jadi when so before when we were in like the Europe as well, so sometimes they always use like something like symbolic stuff like something like that. And also when we Europe also had the same problem about the culture. So knowing culture is like key to be success. And thanks God before I moved before when I was in Europe before and I had to move to Latin America, the biggest problem was knowing that culture because Brazil Latin culture, yeah, it was so different if we compare to European culture, the aristocratic stuff. And of course you have to know about that language. And also, yeah, so far we have to know about who you are and then your education, certification, cultural literacy, and then future mission, what you want to do next. You want to work as an only company worker or influencer. So that's about your future plan, something like that. Next, Putu. Yes, networking. So friends means cuan. So you have to cuanize your friend. I mean here, how? It's not about it's not about friend is money. It's not about like how you use your friend. But to be honest, they use us as a friend. Sometimes like that. But here, we of course we need a good friend and good like this circle friend to know about our working. And thanks God, about like last year, I went because of the pandemic. I had to leave Colombia. I had to back to Indonesia. But because of the social networking and my network, thanks God I could work here at the university. Again about a friend. So from now, I mean like if you have chance, honestly a little bit hard for you to like to make a friend or something. That's really hard. Especially if you have introvert culture. But again, your daily life friend, organization friends, working friends, national friends about your project, organization stuff, or international project friends. Like if you know about amazing like cut servings, you know about that program before, cut servings? Ada yang tahu tentang cut serving nggak, Mbak Mas?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is so good for you. So if you wanna improve your friend and improve your language, cut serving is like the best way to do them. And of course, networking, we can say, I can say like friend is everything. They can be your mother, your best friend, your father. And of course, friend also can support your working. To be honest, one of my reasons working in some companies because of their networking, their friendship, their familyship. If I lose that feeling, they're gonna lose me. Because for me, friendship is so important. Familyship is so important. Because yeah, I mean, but before I wanna ask you something, so you may share about your personal experience. Maybe for Mas Rizky Rinaldi, what you think about your friend experience for your working? So how can your friend help you a lot for your working?
Well, I'm actually an active student in college, so sometimes it's hard for me to do all of my assignment. So I think in few occasion, I asking to my friends about some, yeah, about their assignments or something like that. So I think that's how my friends, my working friends, means for me.
Thank you, Mas. And I wanna ask one more guy here, maybe Mbak Kayla Laradita. Hello, Mbak Kayla, how are you? Are you good? Are you fine? Hello, Mbak Kayla, are you there? Okay, I think Mbak Kayla is not there. So, Mas Rizky, can you please choose one person that they can answer my question?
I think Mbak Syara.
Okay, Mbak. Okay. So, but I want to ask you about, so how can your networking friend help you? Yeah, hello, Mbak Shelly, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
So sorry.
No,
So
no,
what's the question? I'm sorry.
no, your parents. Ask your mom and your daddy. Of course, you, Mbak.
Yeah,
So can you
I
please?
got a connection issue right here. I'm so sorry.
So, I mean, how can your friend help you to work in your networking session? I mean, like in your working, how can your friend help you?
How can my friend help me?
Yeah, I mean, like, so what's the meaning of friend of you in the uh, professional working? Professional,
Okay,
yeah,
so how can my friends help me? Yeah, maybe when I'm asking about something like, I want to know about some information from my,
yeah,
in company we got many policy, and when I miss something, I will ask my friends, and yeah, she or he
that's
will explain to me about the policy, and yeah. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable with the policy, but my friends told me, yeah, this is a job circle, yeah,
yeah, that's the
I
power
think it's
of your
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Especially if you have leader and they can be your friend, that's amazing. And again, so that's why if you have good friend with the international surround, I mean, like environment, of course, it can help you to boost internationally faster. Something like that, guys. So next, Mbak Putu, and of course, God. Why we need God here? Because for me, we have to play hard, we have to work hard, and we have to pray hard. For me, praying hard is kind of like the way to release your emotion. We are using a lot of our tension, right hand, right mind, left mind, and of course, if I'm done with my best, of course, I'm just let God do the rest because out of after I'm done with my best, of course, I cannot do anything. Just God gonna do my rest. At least I try to do my best for everything, for my working, for my career, for my coding teaching, something like that. But again, if God says no, everything gonna be no. So that's why it's like my way to release my emotion, guys. So because we cannot do our logical stuff only because of something to release something. So that's why, in my opinion, we can say like religion is like my way to release my stress. Next, Mbak Putu. Okay, so now we're gonna analyze how we work, and I'm sure all of you here you work for high tech company, and here let's reanalyze what we have here. So can you please go to the first, Mbak Putu, for the first slide before? Yeah. So now I'm gonna give you example. Second one, Mbak. Yes. So now I'm gonna share about my plan. So of course, because here I love coding, I love teaching, and I have also my coding background. So with my coding teacher, so they can help me to go international with them. So here we can say like we you know about SWOT, guys? You know about SWOT? Yeah,
Yes.
we have SWOT like SWOT. So now let's be analyze about our condition now. And here my strength is we can say like coding skill and teaching skill. My weakness is about like I'm too hard worker because I can work even like 18, 9, 20 hours in a day. That's so crazy because I'm too hard worker. This is my weakness. My opportunities, I have a lot of amazing friends with me. And fitness, my age. Because with my, this is like with my age now, so maybe I'm not too strong with me. That's why I can be not really good for the international career. And now we do analysis with what you have with you. So now you can plan, for example, what's your next plan? For example, we can say like your 5 years plan next, and you're gonna analyze with your SWOT.
Oke, thank you atas penyampaiannya yang sangat luar biasa dan materinya juga yang sangat-sangat luar biasa dan memotivasi ya. Terima kasih juga buat teman-teman atas antusiasmenya selama 2 materi tadi. Sekali lagi terima kasih buat our first speaker Mas Iskandar ya atas materinya tentang Big Data for Education dan Mas Erik atas materinya tentang teacher karir. Oke. Karena sesi Q&A yang kedua juga sudah berakhir, saya selaku moderator juga mohon pamit undur diri. Thank you for your attention. Mohon maaf apabila banyak kekurangan ataupun kesalahan dari saya sendiri, maka acara saya kembalikan ke MC. Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih kepada moderator ya telah memimpin jalannya diskusi kita pada kegiatan hari ini. Tadi sudah ada 2 pemateri. Nah, semoga dari materi yang telah disampaikan itu bisa bermanfaat dan menambah pengetahuan kita. Oke, selanjutnya ada penayangan video, yaitu penayangan video Niti Basa dan Drive James. Nah, kepada operator saya persilakan.
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.
Halo, perkenalkan saya Febrian atau